Hey everyone, this is Robin Graves, and this is the world according to Graves. Um, Let me get a little bit of sippage here, Pepsi. You know what to do. Mike, no, I didn't get a movie ready for you, this one either. I promise I'll get to that next broadcast. Let me get started here. Look, folks, let's just talk. Okay, I spent 3 days doing research trying to get this going, and evidently going over it for the past 30 minutes, familiarizing myself with everything I wrote, trying to structure everything for you. It's not that great, and I respect you guys, the viewers, more than to give you a shit show. So let's do something a little different today. You gotta forgive me. I've been up all night. Um, let's talk. Something that really touches home to me for once. Uh, get this light straight. I'm looking like a zombie here. Uh, Yesterday was September 11th. To some of you, it don't mean anything. You guys weren't old enough to actually understand what happened back in 2001. Yesterday was the 18th anniversary of something I wish had never happened: the World Trade Center bombing. Uh, the night before, I was at a charity event um, in Sherman, Texas. I was living in Oklahoma at the time. Uh, it's a little hard for me to talk about because I'm very sensitive about this, about what happened. It really hit me hard. I lost a couple of people I knew in the bombing. Um, but I remember it like it was yesterday, literally. Of course, this is wide open again. Can't get this to close right. Windows, go figure. The night before, I was in Sherman, Texas, as I was saying, at a charity event, and I got home about 3 in the morning. Uh, got in bed around 5. I remember being woken up. My parents had come over, and evidently they knocked on the door. I didn't answer. They go, and they knew I was home. My car was there, so they came inside. I didn't lock my door. It's a very rural area where I lived. Uh, Everybody knew each other. Um, Woke me up and told me I need to go put the TV on CNN. Something very bad has happened. I kept asking, what happened? What happened? They said, just put on CNN and see. So I fired up the TV and put on CNN just in time to see the second building fall. I can't describe what I felt other than just a cold, numb feeling. We had been stabbed in the back by a faceless assassin. America, for the first time in our history, on mainland United States of America, we were hit in an act of war. I remember just going outside and sitting down. There this patio area thing we had outside of my yard, and my brother come over. Want to know if I'd seen it, and I told him I'm familiar with it. I saw the second building fall, and he and I sat down and discussed it. We knew right then we were going to war with somebody. Um, who we did go to war with, whether it was right we did it or wrong that we did it to these people, and took out Saddam Hussein's army and forced him into pretty much hiding, being found and hanged. That's whether that was the right thing to do or wrong. I'm not able to decide. He did deny that they had anything to do with it. And the people who piloted the planes, according to all records, weren't from Iraq. They were from another Mideast country. Uh, they were Arabic. I believe they were from the United Arab Emirates, which we couldn't go to war with because they were supplying us with oil. And, well, George Bush was Jr. was best friends with Bendar Hussein over there. In fact, they were so close of friends, there were jokes that Bendar's last name was Bush. But it was really intense at that time for people like me, because, I mean, I paid attention to a lot of politics at the time. I tried staying current with world events. I try to stay more current than I do now. Honestly, to tell the truth. But the next 3 days were amazing. And I'm wondering what happened to us since then. I remember seeing rescue efforts happening. It didn't matter if you were a Republican, Democrat, black, white, Jew, Mexican, on welfare, rich, poor. It didn't matter. We were all Americans. We were all united in one cause. We were really worried about trying to find as many survivors as we can, and our rescue people were being were having to be rescued by other rescue people because of the instability of what was left of the rubble and everything. It was amazing, man. I saw some things that I'll never forget on TV. Things that showed me what true heroism is. I remember seeing this one guy on there. I don't remember his name. That's sad, because this guy inspired me. He was a nobody. He wasn't a member of any rescue team whatsoever, trained or anything professional. He was just a person who went and helped. He had a bandana he kept around his, as a do-rag since he was bald. His head shaved. It's a big guy. Sat there and cried about the survivors and those who didn't survive. And every person he rescued, he wrote their name on his do-rag, just so they could be remembered somehow. That was a hero. The guy who took it so personally that he got emotional, just doing his job, just out helping because he could help. He didn't get paid for what he did. I wish I could remember that guy's name. I would love to sit down and talk with this man. But for those 3 days, man, we were all Americans. We weren't separated. There was nobody hating each other because somebody was a vegan and somebody wasn't. Nobody was pulling us, talking about who was sexist and who was a bigot and who was this and who was that. Color didn't matter. Background didn't matter. Finances didn't matter. Gender didn't matter. We were united as one. And I see the world today. I see how divided we are. It makes me wonder what happened. Why did we let this happen? We're at war with each other right now. This country, we're at each other's throats. It's. I oftentimes wish that we could go back to the 80s during the Cold War. Let these millennials, these people here who don't remember what it was like or weren't around to see what it was like, excuse me, let them see what it was like to have to live through all of that. And then 9/11 happened. And wonder if we're still going to be around the next day. Because if these people could do that to the World Trade Center and to the Pentagon and whatever, what else are they capable of? They did this. They actually said they did this because they wanted to frighten America into changing. Well, they won. America changed. I've sat and watched the country I grew up in. Excuse me. Defended. Let me get a sip here. I saw the country I grew up in and loved change before my eyes. We now, because of 9/11, we now have the Patriot Act. That militarized our police forces. Right now, the police forces got more protection and control than they ever had. Do you know that if a police officer who is not on duty does anything to you and you defend yourself, it's an automatic felony for you? No questions asked. You can take the Patriot Act for that. We now have Homeland Security. Homeland Security. That's a funny word for what these people are. You know, I do imagine there are people in Homeland Security who mean well. But the whole concept of Homeland Security, back in the 80s, Russia, communist Russia, they had something called the KGB, the Komitet Gosdarstvennoy Bezopasnosti. It meant Committee for State Security. They were the men in black who showed up at your home without warning, drug you out in the street, shot you in the head, and nobody said a word. Nobody could do anything about it. You know, these were people who made people disappear, made entire families disappear. Homeland Security is about one step away from that. They have ultimate authority. They can come onto your property, come in your home, search your home, take whatever you have, smack you around, and walk away calling you Mary. And there's not a damn thing you can do about it. You know, thanks to George Bush Jr., we have lived in a police state since 2002. We're not a free country anymore because of panic and fear-mongering. As free as you'd like to say you are, you're not. Right now, they're talking about everything here in America going like it is in Western Europe, in Britain. I lived in Britain for a while. I'm very well aware of the CCTV system they have. Everybody there is watched so closely. You know, it's they want to do that here. And they want to do it under the guise of the Patriot Act. The see something, say something mentality. It's rather frightening that this is happening in our own country, in the home of the brave, land of the free. You know, we have people on one side trying to take your guns from you, people on the other side trying to tell you how to live. Whatever happened to freedom? It disappeared on September 11th, 2001. Freedom died. We're so paranoid right now. We're so against each other. We're so afraid of each other. And we have people in our government who are using that to gain power. We have people on the left and the right both who hate a sitting president who's done nothing wrong. They've made up charges against him. Now they're wanting to investigate him again and bring up articles of impeachment to get rid of him. And you know, that's not just the Democrats doing it. It's also the Republicans, the old guard, the ones who have been in office for decades, are wanting Trump gone. They're not wanting to bring charges on him. They're wanting to investigate him and charge him in case there's something he might have done wrong. That's the mentality this country has now. And it's had this mentality for, oh my God, I've got to say 10 years that I've noticed. Yes, we've had some really crappy leaders, real crappy ones, who didn't care about you. I've always said we needed somebody who wasn't a politician to be our president. And a lot of people have agreed until it happened. Now all of you want to disagree. Everyone wants to disagree. He's not a politician. No, he's not. The politicians are the problems. The politicians are the ones who made 9/11 into a major political thing. They politicized it. It was a terrorist attack on America, and the politicians used it to their advantage against you. So, guys, look, man, I'm tired. I haven't slept since yesterday morning. I got up, I believe, around 5:30 in the morning. I've been awake since. Yesterday being 9/11, it really messed with me. I missed doing some things I normally do on social media. I wanted to get a video out, let you guys know that I'm not dead. You know, they haven't gotten rid of me yet. I'm still here, much to everybody's chagrin. But I'm sorry for not having an article or something, you know, an actual show concept for you guys. Instead of doing a crappy video, I had to do something. I wanted to be professional about it, so I decided to talk to you guys for just a little bit. What's going through my mind, what's near and dear to me. You know, there's only so much I can say about the LGBTQXYZ, whatever, and their virtue signaling for, you know, by being in parades and protests for to get rights that they already have. You know, I can't sit here and talk bad about politicians every time. I was going to do this one on the state of music and how music's changed. Thank you, Andrea, for giving me that idea before. But my personal opinion about music is a little strange. I mean, you can tell by the hair. I mean, I listen to people like Exodus and Slayer. But I wanted to do something here anyway, whether this, you know, the concept I had was good or not. I was going to do something, you know, but you guys, I want you guys to take care of yourselves. And before you do anything that somebody tells you to do or thinks some way someone wants you to think for yourself. You still have the freedom to think for yourself. Nobody's stealing our thoughts yet. Nobody's monitoring what we're thinking. We're still human beings. So, look, guys, I'm Robin Graves. This has been The World According to Graves. I'll catch you next time, and until I catch you next week, talk hard. Later.